All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing your daily horoscope for Wednesday, the 1st of September, 2021. We've got the moon moving through the early degrees of its home sign of Cancer. The moon home in Cancer, this is where things retreat. Now, Cancer, the sun is at its highest point when it reaches the sign of Cancer. It's full illumination. For the northern hemisphere, for the northern hemisphere. When the sun reaches the sign of Cancer, this is at its top, and then it slowly begins to dwindle away and dwindle down as it's getting closer and closer to the equator, and then it's going to be on the South Pole and going to be the brightest and hottest for the southern hemisphere. So it's a change. This is a transition. So the sign of Cancer itself is the cardinal water sign, deals with our emotions. And although this is great height for us here in the northern hemisphere, it is also the lowest point for those in the southern hemisphere. This is where things go into hiding. Again, we don't always express our emotions. We could be feeling multiple layers and layers and layers of emotions on the inside. And then, it's just like we could be contemplating suicide and somebody says, "Hey, how are you?" "I'm good, thank you." So we don't always express our emotions. We don't always share with the outside world, and with good reason. We don't always express those parts of ourselves. So today we're honoring this part of ourselves. And we have some really powerful connections that the moon is going to make. Sun here in Virgo, so they're going to start creating a sextile as the day moves on. We've got a square to Mercury in the sign of Libra. Okay. Now this can say, I don't want to communicate. Maybe I want to hold back. Or I'm uncertain. Mercury, this is balance. Often when we see, my interpretation of a square is the legs of a table, the legs of a chair, that if one of these is off balance, it becomes unstable. So those squares are extremely important, where it's just like we're honoring these emotions, but it's like we honor and value the other. We honor and value the communication that is necessary with the other. So there might be some vulnerable, open communication that's very necessary for whomever it may be with. This could be work, business, friends, family, lovers, girlfriend, boyfriend, your cat. So either way. And then this could also be just simple insight. It doesn't always have to be communication, but this could be just a way of understanding, a way of thinking, a way of bringing peace into our minds, and then bringing that here into our hearts, in this vulnerable place of, okay, this is my comfort zone. This is where I feel safe and secure. This is where I feel safe and secure to be able to communicate. So there's a fine balance where I feel safe and comfortable in order to communicate that of which I need to communicate to you. So there's a co-creating thing that's happening. At the same time, Sun and Mars still here in Virgo. Mars getting closer today, opposing Neptune. Let me show you. We got some energies going on here. As well, this same time that the moon is square to Mercury, we see the little septile over here to the south node. There's a lot. What the heck is this? There's a lot coming up. There's a lot of energy being connected to the south node right now. Saturn sextile to the south node. This is like, look, we're creating a future for ourselves. I, me, individual me, collective, we are creating a new future. There are things of the past that we have to let go of. I know I feel like a dead horse, or beating a dead horse, I'm saying this, but we have, less than 6 degrees here. This is an 18-month journey. And we're over, we're here, we got our last couple months of the nodes here in Gemini and Sagittarius. We're headed toward Taurus and Scorpio, letting go. We'll talk about that when we get there. So there's a lot of energy pointing to the south node right now, as well as the north node, which is just releasing this old stuff. It's absolutely fundamental. So we have this beautiful, okay, there's communication, there's insight from another party. There's communication with somebody else that I have to have because this brings me emotional balance. This is necessary communication. And I am focused and driven right now and on point, so I know that this communication has to happen. Furthermore, we've got the moon creating this septile to the south node. We have a grand kite happening again between our air signs, Saturn in Aquarius North Node in Gemini, Mercury here, fresh in the sign of Libra. That's our air trine. And our air trine, again, this can be like, my way is the only way of thinking about something. When we see a trine, again, this can be closed off energy. So this can say, look, I know the answer. I know what's coming next. I know because I've experienced and done it and done it and done it. And then you get this little, it's like, yeah, but that's not how it's going to be this time. And just because, this is how it was before, doesn't mean that this is how it is now. This is an extremely important lesson that the universe wants us to learn. All right, and that's why this grand trine is creating the sextile to the south node here, creating that grand kite formation. Everything is letting go to releasing knowledge that you think you already know. We have a whole world of discovery ahead of us. And when we release emotionally, we can open up to some really beautiful stuff, beautiful experiences. Okay, let's move on here. Yeah, we got, oops, sorry, right there. Around 8 a.m. is when we have the moon square to Mercury. Moving on, now we get some other really good connections. The moon septile to Uranus, breakthrough. If I take the time for myself today, if I can take the time to meditate, if I can take the time to go within, if I can take the time to quiet my mind, to bring myself into a place of peace, if I can evaluate that of which I love, who I love. Okay, you see Venus here creating this septile to Uranus, breakthrough. Breakthrough. This is great change. The Uranus septile here to the moon. This is emotional release. This is Uranus's job, is to create release of tension and pressure that Saturn creates. Jupiter expands to where Saturn says this is the limit, and Uranus says ba-boom, an explosion. This could be, a positive thing. This is a piñata, and we're full with candy. This could be a piñata full of razor blades. Either way, it is what it is. In this particular case, we're looking at like things that we love. We're talking about the moon and Venus, which are both making a connection to Uranus, both a septile to Uranus. Neptune making a septile to the moon. Like all of this energy is a reminder, as focused as we are and as determined as we are with this Virgo energy, as on point as we can be, as well rehearsed and researched as we can be, we don't know the outcome of every possible scenario. And clear it from our minds that we do. Release, surrender to the experience, surrender to this present moment. We don't know how good things can be. And when we have the impulse, when we have this intuition, this pull, this feeling, this emotional navigation that's guiding us to a certain place, we can be excited to share it, or we can be nervous. Let's look at love, for example. When we have Mercury and Venus here in love, and both of these, Mercury is as well. Not only is it making this square to the moon, but it's creating a sextile to the south node and a trine to the north node. Again, about seeking information and doing things a little bit differently than we might have before. It's reminding us that this is not the same path. It's not the same every single time we go around. There's always something a little different. And when we allow ourselves to release our expectations of life, I think that's the magic here. When we allow ourselves to release the expectations of life and dive into that unknown possibility, is when this magic is going to happen. And it's also saying, let's stay focused on what's here right now, this present, this moment. What is my, I value doing things. This is a constant theme for this month. It's like I value, not just saying me personally, but just in general. It's like I value being productive. I value being able to give back to my community. I value being able to communicate. I value the reflections of other people in my life that I can expand and explore and change my perspectives. You know, it's just like we have to stay focused on this. Is this allowing ourselves to be wrong, allowing our perspective to change? This is a lot of, you know, this grand air trine and this kite formation. Again, a lot of that has to do with knowledge. The sun and Mars in the sign of Virgo also deals with knowledge, deals with communication, deals with precise, on-point, critical information. So all of this, you know, is like when we stay focused on us, this here now, it's like it doesn't matter what's going on in the world outside me. It doesn't matter if my neighbor's doing whatever. It's like, what am I trying to focus my time and energy on? Who am I trying to connect with? What communication am I trying to say? So this is what I was going to say a second ago. If you're in love, let's just use love as an example, and you want to share your love with somebody, that's an exciting thing. But yet at the same time, let's look here that a lot of people, guys, get so nervous to propose to their lady. You know, it's just like love is this like, oh my God, I love you. I want to scream it from a mountaintop. You know, it's like there's almost no nervousness or fear that goes along with love. But yet we can be frightened because we care so much about somebody, or because we don't know. What if they're all of a sudden like, yo, you know, yeah, but I wasn't thinking about getting married yet. You know, it's like, it can be a really interesting, you know, set of emotions. So sometimes we recoil, we retreat, we don't express ourselves, we don't tell the person we love them, we don't go after that job, we don't go after that guy, that girl, whatever it may be, even though we want it, we desire it, but we hold ourselves back because of fear. And this is like, look, focus. What do you want out of life? Somebody else is going to go after it and get it until we learn our lessons, these karmic lessons. Saturn up there, you know, part of this grand trine. Learning our lessons so we can get off the you know, take the record off loop and listen to a new song. My friends, listen to a new song. Share some music with me, would you? Share me with me if you share with me some of your favorite songs. I want to know what you guys are listening to. What puts you in that beautiful, you know, that space? I don't know. We'll see what happens. My friends, have a beautiful day. Happy September. We'll see you tomorrow.